If I had a nickel for every time I said I was making my comeback and then completely abandoned the channel for like 3 months, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird it's happened twice. Anyway, my video upload schedule is becoming very periodically, so I am literally just gonna upload whenever I can, so there may be random 3-month gaps in it, so I guess just expect that from now on. But anyway, I've been looking through comments and I'm kind of trying to make short little videos on ideas that people give me for very simple things to do that are a bit too hard to explain in a comment section, that are just better to watch visually. So anyway, today we're going to be recreating an effect that a lot of old video games had, where when you're walking right, you like can't walk back left. In a way, like the camera stops you from walking back left. In really old games, like say the original Mario Bros, this applies for the entire game. No matter where you are, you can't really go left, backwards. You're kind of stuck where you are once you've moved right in a certain area. Even the original Sonic, obviously, you can go back and forth throughout the whole level. But once you get towards like the goal or a boss area, it triggers that effect to where you can no longer walk backwards, or walk left, I guess, because it wants to force you to move on to the boss. So we're going to be recreating that effect here. I saw a comment about it, so I figured let's just do it. It's pretty quick and simple. To really show exactly what I mean, I kind of need to get towards the end of the level where the boss is, so let me just do that. That is the effect there. I can quickly show you, there's a global variable that controls it, so if I turn this on and it's just left on the whole time, then you can kind of see what this would look like. Obviously, for most, if not all, Sonic type of levels, this effect would not work throughout the whole level, because Sonic levels are not made to be linear and completed with like one direction. It encourages you to kind of go all over the place. So usually this effect only works if it's like triggered at the end, especially right here. It's a nice little area that you're forced to go through, so no matter what you do, you will trigger it. And you can't really avoid it because you can't go below or above. So anyway, that's an effect we're going to be recreating today. So let's get to it. To start off, we're going to get an active object that is going to represent our camera, or not our camera, in a way like our object that will tell the camera how far we've gotten and the fact that we can't like go left again. So one thing you want to do is you want to stretch this object to the size of your frame. So the width size of the default Simple Sonic Worlds frame should be 427. Height does not matter. It can be this big, it can be this big. It does not matter the height. The Y coordinate or plane as a whole really does not matter for this tutorial. We're really just dealing with the x-axis here. But anyway, so we have an object like this. Pretty sure we want this to be centered, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, the hotspot should be centered, so just click the little thing right here and just make sure that's centered. Make sure no animations interfere with this. So now we have our object here. You can name it whatever you want. I'm gonna name it cam left limit. Pretty sure that's it's almost the same name as the frame. Alright, so let's get this program to like follow the player in a way, but stop the player from, or stop itself from moving left. So anyway, what we first want to do is just a very simple start of frame. All we're simply doing is at the start of the frame, setting that active object X position to the position. Here we go, here it is right here. Oh, I left the other object. Oh well, I'll deal with that in a minute. Setting the X position to the position of the player. Do not use the character sprite itself, even though they are all followed together and it would still work. It's just better to use the player object here, because this is the actual main player itself compared to just the skins here that show the character. So I just set it to the X position of the player. Obviously this will only happen at the start of the frame. This is simply just so when it starts it's already set in the right position, it's not scattered off somewhere. But now what we want to do is, if the position of the player, the X position specifically, is greater or equal, meaning it's ahead of whatever we're comparing it to. So if it's greater or equal to the X of the active object, where on earth did it go? It is right there. Okay. To the X of the active object, get rid of this 0 here. So basically, here, let me just put this in here. So if the X position of the player is greater or equal to the X position of the active object itself from the center point of it, then we want to do the same thing. You can just drag this down, set the X position to the player. So basically now what this does is it will only set the X position. Okay, so basically what this does is it allows the active object to follow the X of the player, but only if the player is ahead of it. It will not do it. So basically, as you can see, it's following me, but it will not follow me. Is an always event and getting the Y position to follow the player, which is just this, and then Y position of the player. You don't have to do that, that can just be for testing sake, so that way it's not stuck on one Y axis. Anyway though, so now we want to make it where that active object actually will do something to the camera. So I already have the group open, but I'll show you exactly where it is. So it'll be under objects, it will not be under objects management, I lied. It will be under the interface and post-processing methods, classic camera system. Okay, I left the event on there. Let me find it won't. Yeah, okay, I left this event on here. This is not normally here. This is what you should see here by default. You'll see this start of frame here that sets the maximum X and Y for the camera. We're not dealing with the maximums, we're dealing with the minimums, so we want to quickly make a new always event right here. Underneath the master camera here, we want to simply go alternate values, set the camera minimum X to be not just simply the X of the active object, the X coordinate on the left edge of the active object. So it's just the same thing with left. Basically, it's not setting the camera to like the center X here, like right here of the active object. It's gonna set the X all the way over here, which is good because this is what we want. This is our like back border edge here. As for dealing with him walking off the edge here, you can be lazy and just say like copy this backdrop and just put it here where it's like out of frame, so that way Sonic can't go past there at all, because yeah, the fact that we're constantly changing this does get rid of the fact that the frame here is the minimum limit. That's only if you have it set for the whole level though. So basically now what we're going to do is just set it for only a specific point. So you want to create an alterable value, which is up in your main game like thing, the name here, under all these global values. I should have said global value, not alterable value. Same thing, I guess. As you can see, I have already created a variable here. This is the limit camera one. You just go to new, creates one, double click it. You can name your variable whatever you want. I just named mine limit camera, and you want to have this set to 0 for our example sake of the fact that it's going to be triggered later on. So that's set to 0. So now under our always event here, we want to go under compare to a global value and then find our limit camera, and we want to say when this is equal to 1. So now this effect will only be triggered when the limit camera is equal to 1. Now basically we want to trigger this somehow. So I think I left the object here. Yeah, so I left an object here. This is just an basic active object. Just import an active object, change it to something that you'll recognize so that way you can have a good trigger point, and place it wherever you want. A good spot would be right before a boss type of level to kind of stop the player from going back, so that way you can get them to move on. Up in here would really make no sense because you're already kind of trapped up here. So basically you want to place that wherever you want. Make sure it's on layer 3 so that way we can interact with it properly. And then going back down to wherever the rest of your code is here, we can put this in a group. Let's just do that actually. Let's select all of that. No, that's not gonna work. Insert a group. Let's change it to our camera left limit. Okay, I'm gonna just leave that as is. Drag all of this into here just to kind of keep it sorted nicely. In here, we can simply just put when the player object collides with another object, don't do the overlapping another object, that's not gonna work. Do another object, then go find your trigger point right here. So simply when they collide, we want to change that value to 1 to just tell the game, hey, we want to set up this effect now. And if you wanted to turn off the effect at some point in the level, like you wanted this to trigger, but then you were okay with it being turned off at some point, basically create another object, have the same thing when it collides with this, except set your limit to 1 instead, or your variable to 1 instead. Yeah, I'm gonna hide the active object. Yeah, I just had it visible for testing's sake, but I'm gonna hide it now by unchecking visible. So as you can see, yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, if you want to turn it off mid-level, you can have another trigger object that does the same way, except it sets it to 0 instead of 1. And yeah, that's how you can set up a camera to do that, where it limits you from going left and kind of forces you to move right. In case you're wondering if this bugs out with like the boss camera, you can have it where when the player touches the boss trigger, you can turn off our camera limit thing. Say in the level objects code, boss, camera setup boss, if the player character sensor is overlapping the boss trigger, under here they obviously activate the Mechasonic group, but we can set our variable to 0, which will turn off our effect. that is how you can set that up to not interfere with the boss camera at all. Just turn it off whenever the boss camera is triggered. And that now should be basically everything. I don't know how I made this into 20 minutes, but yeah, just hopefully, I guess it's kind of a short tutorial on how to do like a limit left movement of the camera. Y'all know what I mean, I'm not gonna explain it again, but yeah, hopefully the upload schedule will get itself fixed eventually, but right now it is very inconsistent. It just comes in periods. Like I'll upload 3 videos within 2 weeks and then disappear for 3 months. So who knows, maybe the next time you'll see me I'll be out of school. We'll see though. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. God bless you. And yeah, have a good day. I'll see y'all in the next tutorial. Goodbye.